Alright, so I'm just going to do a real quick video on the Q Trash Panda and if it's still a good value in 2024. So in the past couple of years there's been some pretty significant develops in silencer technology, and this can came out in 2017, so does it still hold up? So we'll go into the pros, the cons, and then compare this to some other silencers. So one big pro is it's really quiet on 300 blackout for the size. I've been around a lot of 7-inch-ish, this size 30 cal silencers, and this one seems to do a lot better on 300 blackout than most of them. And you'd kind of expect that from Q because they developed the 300 blackout cartridge, and I think this was kind of optimized for subsonic gas flow, but it sounds really great for the size. Another con is this actually sounds pretty good on 5.56. It's hard not to compare it to some other silencers, I guess, but this to me sounds a lot like the Polonium K, probably a little bit louder, but the Polonium K is a super good 5.56 silencer, so that's not a knock against this at all. Despite that being a K-can, it's a really good K-can. It sounds somewhat similar, so you know, that's not a bad thing at all. If you've been around the Dead Air Nomad, it kind of sounds like that. It sounds better than the Sandman, just to kind of give references to some popular silencers. I also use this on my 308 bolt gun quite a bit, and I really like it on that gun. It's short, it's light, and it's quiet enough that I don't need earplugs, and that's kind of what I use it for. I hunt a lot with it and just target shoot, and I don't need to wear earplugs if I'm outside. If you're shooting inside of any like covered range, gets a little spicy in there, but yeah, so sounds really good on 300 blackout, pretty dang good on 5.56, and not too bad on 308. There's definitely better silencers this size on 308, but I mean, you're getting great performance on all three. Another pro is this thing, for what it is, isn't that expensive. MSRP I think is $1,000. Right now you can pick them up for $850 before the tax stamp, so you're looking at $1,000 after the tax stamp. But the mount is included, and it's a pretty standard mount at this point. A lot of people are using the Q/Reardon mounts, and it comes with 2 muzzle devices. So not only do you not have to buy a mount, but there's 2 muzzle devices. So if you were buying another silencer that you needed to buy a mount for, you're looking at $80 to $100 for the mount, and then another $80 per muzzle device. So that cost adds up really quick, and it's all taken care of when you buy this. You're ready to go as soon as you buy this, and it's just around $1,000 after the tax stamp, so that's a pretty good price. So we won't gloss over the cherry bomb. So like I said, the silencer comes with 2. It comes with a 30 cal thread pitch, so 5/8 by 24, and a 22 5.56 thread pitch, so 1/2 by 28. So you're set up for 2 different guns. A lot of people get worked up about this mount because it doesn't have wrench flats, but like I have got 3 of these. I've got them on 3 different guns. If you've got a tapered muzzle, torque it down. It's not going to come off in the silencer. If you got a 90-degree shoulder, torque it down, put some rock set on it, and you're not going to have any issues. So don't get too worked up about it not having wrench flats. I've never seen somebody who installed it properly have that issue, so, but your mileage may vary. So getting into the cons, and I don't even know if I'd call this a con. I just said it sounded pretty good on 308, but there's other silencers this size and about the same price that sound a little bit better. I wouldn't make my decision based off it, just the small difference that it is, but there are silencers that do sound better on 308. I don't think super high pressure, hot gas is this thing's strong suit. I think it was designed for subsonic for 300 blackout. But you know, if 308 is your priority, I maybe wouldn't get this silencer. I'd get something else. Another con, and it's not a con specific to this, but it's titanium, so you're going to get sparking. It's nothing crazy. It's not as bad as the 3D printed silencers I've been around. The 3D printed titanium silencers I've been around. They seem to spark a lot. This isn't too bad. Like it doesn't bother me. Even under night vision, it's not too bad. Another con, and again, this isn't specific to this, but this size of silencer and everything on subsonic 300 blackout, there's a fairly noticeable first round pop. Real quick, I'll demonstrate the first round pop. But it's not a whole lot different than any other silencer in this category, but there is first round pop. If first round pop is something you're really worried about, get a longer silencer. The full Nelson on 300 blackout I've never heard anything as quiet as the full Nelson on 300 blackout, and I didn't notice hardly any first round pop on that, so first round pop is what you're worried about. You'll need a longer silencer, and I don't know the science behind that. I kind of thought a longer silencer would have more first round pop because there's more gas that needs to be, or oxygen that needs to be expelled out of this, but yeah, the full Nelson, if you're worried about first round pop, is a pretty solid option. So now getting into some comparisons. In 2024, like I said, silencer technology's moved a long ways. If you look at something like the Cat ODB, that's kind of the new hotness right now. It's crazy. Everything Cat's putting out is crazy impressive. Well, you know, based on what I've seen, I haven't got one in hand yet, but I have a Johnny Law ordered, and so we'll definitely do a video on that. But the Pew Science data and everyone I've talked to that has one says the ODB is crazy on 300 blackout, and it's shorter than this. I believe it's lighter than this, but the kicker is it's way more expensive. So you're looking at $12.50. If you get the hub one, the hub mount, it's $12.50 without a mount, and that's before tax stamp. So if you buy a mount plus a tax stamp, you're looking at over $1,500, where you'll be, with this, you'll be $1,000 with two muzzle devices and a mount. But if you want that like ultimate performance, which is what the ODB offers, you're going to be paying $1,500. If you got to decide if it's worth it for you. So in my opinion, when you compare this to silencers that came out around the same time, the Nomad, the Nomad TI, a lot of those silencers, the Silencer Co stuff, this was I'd say significantly better than those in most regards. Maybe not 308 performance, but 300 blackout, value, 5.56, I'd say this was kind of the go-to. But now in 2024, with, like I said, Cat especially, their ODB, Diligent Defense has some cheaper options now that I've heard are super quiet as well. I got the opportunity to shoot a Liberty Precision Mach L, I believe it was, when I was in Idaho. And it's quite a bit longer than this, but it was super quiet. So does this have a place in 2024? I do think so. If someone told me they wanted to be $1,000 all in on a silencer, stamp, mounts, everything, and they were primarily using it for 300 blackout, maybe 5.56, and maybe a little bit of 308, but 308 wasn't the priority, I would have a hard time still not recommending this, because it's still a great value, and I can't think of, I heard something. And I can't think of another silencer that would fit the bill as good as this. And maybe it's out there. I don't have experience on every silencer, obviously, but I still think this does have a place. And a lot of people I've heard compare this to the Hyperion K. And I did get the opportunity to shoot the Hyperion K on 300 blackout. And this is significantly, well, I don't know, it was noticeably quieter on 300 blackout than the Hyperion K. The first round pop, this gets a lot of flack for first round pop, but that first round pop on the Hyperion K was just as loud, but the only difference was the Hyperion K didn't get a whole lot quieter. Like I said, this is noticeably quieter on 300 blackout. So with that being said, yes, I still think this has a place in 2024. If you're looking for a great performer on 300 blackout and you don't want a silencer much bigger than this, and you want it to also perform well on 5.56, you want it to be around $1,000 all in with the mount, with muzzle devices, everything, I think this is still hard to beat in 2024.
Safety, same as the last one, with your thumb, find a target, yep. Now double tap it, pop, pop.